March 2nd, 1807, the U.S. Congress passed the Act Prohibiting Importation of Slaves. The Act of Prohibiting Importation of Slaves, passed by the U.S. Congress, aimed to disallow the importation of enslaved individuals into the United States. Although it didn't immediately end slavery within the country, it marked a significant step toward abolition by aiming to halt the transatlantic slave trade. The legislation imposed fines and penalties on those violating the ban, reflecting growing anti-slavery sentiments in the United States and globally. However, illegal smuggling of enslaved people persisted even after the enactment of this law. 1811, Argentine War of Independence, Battle of San Nicolás. In the Battle of San Nicolás, a royalist fleet decisively defeated a smaller revolutionary force in the Argentine War of Independence. The encounter showcased the struggle for South American independence and the challenges faced by the revolutionary forces against the better-equipped royalist opposition. Despite this setback, the conflict continued, culminating in Argentina's eventual independence. 1815, signing of the Candian Convention Treaty. The Candian Convention was a pivotal treaty signed between British invaders and the leaders of the Kingdom of Kandy in Sri Lanka. It led to the annexation of Kandy by the British, marking the end of the kingdom's independence and British control over the entire island of Ceylon, now Sri Lanka. The agreement resulted in the imposition of British colonial rule, shaping Sri Lanka's history and British colonial expansion in South Asia. 1836, Texas Revolution. Declaration of Independence of the Republic of Texas. The Declaration of Independence of the Republic of Texas severed Texas from Mexico, marking the beginning of the Texas Revolution. It asserted Texas's sovereignty and paved the way for its eventual annexation by the United States. This declaration intensified the conflict between Texan settlers and Mexican forces, culminating in the Battle of the Alamo and the Battle of San Juanicinto, ultimately leading to Texas's independence. 1855, Alexander II becomes Tsar of Russia. Alexander II ascended to the throne as Tsar of Russia. His reign saw significant reforms, including the emancipation of serfs and efforts to modernize Russia while addressing social and political tensions. His policies aimed at liberalizing Russia's institutions, granting more rights to peasants, and introducing legal and military reforms. However, despite these reforms, dissatisfaction and unrest continued in various parts of the empire. 1859, Great Slave Auction in the United States. Considered the largest slave auction in U.S. history, this two-day event showcased the inhumane and brutal practice of slavery in the antebellum South. Enslaved individuals were sold in large numbers, highlighting the dehumanizing nature of slavery and the commodification of human lives. The auction reinforced the cruel realities faced by those enslaved and fueled the abolitionist movement's fervor in the United States. 1865, East Cape War. Vulcaner Incident in New Zealand. The Vulcaner Incident was a tragic event during the East Cape War in New Zealand, involving the execution of missionary Karl Vulcaner. This event escalated tensions between Maori groups and European settlers, illustrating the complexities and conflicts arising from land disputes, cultural differences, and colonial expansion in New Zealand. The incident added to the unrest and violence in the region during the period of settler colonialization in New Zealand. 1867, passing of the first Reconstruction Act by the U.S. Congress. These acts aimed to reorganize southern states after the Civil War, laying the groundwork for their readmission into the Union and addressing civil rights and political representation for freed slaves. The acts led to the establishment of new governments in the southern states, the ratification of the 14th Amendment, and the extension of voting rights to African American men. However, subsequent resistance and discriminatory practices limited the effectiveness of these Reconstruction efforts. 1877, U.S. Congress declares Rutherford B. Hayes winner of the 1876 presidential election despite Samuel J. Tilden winning the popular vote. Congress awarded the presidency to Rutherford B. Hayes just before his inauguration. This decision marked the end of Reconstruction and the withdrawal of federal troops from the South. The Compromise of 1877, which led to Hayes' presidency, signaled the end of the federal intervention in Southern politics, effectively ending Reconstruction and allowing Southern states to resume control over their affairs. This compromise also marked a setback for civil rights advancements in the post-Civil War era. 1882, assassination attempt on Queen Victoria by Roderick McLean. Roderick Maclean's attempt on Queen Victoria's life in Windsor highlighted the dangers faced by public figures and royalty. The incident led to increased security measures and heightened public awareness of potential threats to the royal family's safety. While the attempt failed, it drew attention to the need for enhanced security protocols to protect prominent figures in the United Kingdom.